Good evening and hello, friends, and welcome inside the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center for this week's edition of Wendy's Inside Bulls Hockey. I'm Michael Bentz. Well, the Bulls are starting to get accustomed to life without their captain, Jamie Hicks. As all of you may know right now, Jamie Hicks is up in the American Hockey League playing with the Worcester Ice Cats, and he has gotten off to a start up there. He's picked up 1 goal in his first 3 games. It was a power play goal this past week, so we wish Jamie Hicks the best of luck. Although for the Birmingham Bulls on the ice, they do miss their captain. There is a new captain in the making, though. It's Kelly Perreault, as Desrosiers elected to make the Bulls defenseman with the highest plus-minus total in the East Coast Hockey League, the new captain of the Birmingham Bulls. And Dennis has had to do quite a bit of juggling with his lines, as we saw this past week when the Birmingham Bulls hosted the New Orleans Brass this past Saturday night, a 4-3 loss in which the Bulls worked hard to overcome a 3-0 deficit to tie things up at 3 before eventually losing to the Brass that night by the score of 4-3. We're going to highlight that game for you a little bit later in the show. We'll also have another edition of Pop in the Box with Ken Cohen, and this week we'll discuss cross-checking along with checking from behind. So 2 calls that we have seen come into play recently. We'll talk about those this week as well. We also have a special feature for you this week. We'll take a look at one of the arena workers on a game night, David Dunn, what he does with the music and the scoreboard and all the festivities that go on, something behind the scenes that your fans may not know about that happens on a Birmingham Bulls game night. We'll have that, and we'll also take a look at this week's upcoming games with head coach Desrosiers. We'll do that and much, much more when we come back on Wendy's Inside Bulls Hockey. And welcome back to Wendy's Inside Bulls Hockey. We're now joined by the Bulls head coach, Rosie. And Dennis, the first question is, this past week the biggest news on the team front is you lose your captain, Jamie Hicks. He's recalled to the American Hockey League to join the Worcester Ice Cats. Give us a little bit of how that situation came about with Jamie being recalled.
Well, I don't really know what the thinking on the Worcester part is, but they're looking for a veteran player to lead some of their young kids, and I think that you know, Hicksy's a well-known player, and I think through word of mouth and checking stats and, you know, just talking to different people, they decided that Jamie would probably be a good addition to their hockey club. And as good as it is for him and possibly for them, it really is a big hole for us to fill, and not only a whole talent-wise, but a whole leadership-wise, and it's going to be very tough. We're going to have some guys step up, and in the 2 games that Jamie's been gone, I don't think we played particularly well, and I don't think we particularly had a good mindset, and I think that some of these veteran players, or veteran-type players, are going to have to step up on the ice, take some of the load that he was carrying, and he did carry a big load, mind you, and they're going to have to take the leadership role also. And until that happens, we're going to struggle until we find somebody that will actually step in and do that. And very happy with the way Kelly Perreault has handled himself wearing the C. I think he's played outstanding in both games, and I think he's a leader type guy. But we need more of it.
Now, Jamie Hicks playing in a couple of games so far up in Worcester. You said you've had contact with him on a couple of different occasions. Can you give the fans at home an update on how he's doing so far playing up there in the AHL?
Yeah, I'm getting mixed reactions on it, and from Jamie also. I think he is too. The first game, he played no power play, no penalty kill, and he didn't play at all in the 3rd period. The second game that he played, he same thing, no power play, no penalty kill. Played a little wee bit in the 3rd, none down the stretch. And then I didn't talk to him after the yesterday afternoon, or the other afternoon game, that when he played the 3rd game, and he did score a goal in that, and it was a power play goal, but I checked the stats on the internet, and he only had 1 shot on goal. He was -1, so I don't know how much he really played. I haven't talked to him about that game yet, so I don't know what to think about it yet. I'm still a little bit puzzled by it, not with the fact that Jamie can play there, just the fact that Jamie's a 30-year-old veteran East Coast League player. You know, I'm still a little bit puzzled as to why he's the guy they wanted, and not, again, anything to do with his ability, just to do with the entire situation.
Now, Coach, then, I know you're treating it as if a worst-case scenario, we won't see number 14 back this season. With that in mind, you said you're going to have some players step up. You're going to have the veterans take on a little bit of a bigger load. But also on top of that, what are your plans now on the hockey side of things, and what are you trying to do to possibly bring in a replacement, and is that something you've started to even evaluate?
Yeah, it certainly has. I started evaluating at the moment that I heard that he may even be going, and you know, we're looking, of course, we're looking to make changes not only in our lineup, but you know, as far as who plays with who and who centers what line and so on and so forth. But we're looking to bring in some talent to, you know, take his place. It's pretty hard to take the place of a guy that's going to be around 100 points every year. You know, that's a goal plus every game. So a lot of games it's 2 goals, just like last game. For example, it was very evident with the loss of a Jamie Hicks type guy. Let's say he's given us a point and a quarter a game and we lose by a goal, and 3 of them are power play goals, which is exactly what happened. We've got he and Rivard both probably our best 2 penalty killers out of the lineup. So if they're in the lineup, we take one of those goals away, and we add the goal that Hicks, or the point he's going to get for setting up a goal, and we win by a goal. So it's the intangible things with a guy like Hicks. When you're killing a penalty, the fact that you win the draw in your zone and your defensemen are able to shoot it down 200 feet and they have to start all over again. They don't have control of the puck in your zone. When you're protecting a 1-goal lead late in the game and you get the draw and you're in control of the puck, those little things mean a lot. And our guys that are centermen right now aren't as good as Hicks on the draw. Rivard, as I say, is comparable, but he's not in the lineup, or wasn't in the lineup at that point anyway. And maybe by now he will be, I hope. But those are little things that are really not noticeable to the average fan, but over the course of time make up a lot of possession time of the puck. And if you've got possession of the puck more than the other team, chances of it getting into your net is slimmer than if they've got possession more. So those little things mean an awful lot, and that's the kind of things that Jamie brings to the table.
And we're going to take a look at one of the games without the Bulls captain, Jamie Hicks. The game this past Saturday against New Orleans Brass, and very quickly in this contest, 4:51 into the game here, Mark Polak is going to give New Orleans a 1-0 lead, Coach.
Yeah, I thought we played it very poorly in our own zone there, and you'll see Polak just walks out from the wall, and there's no way that he should be able to walk off the wall like that. We have to get stronger defensively.
New Orleans would then increase the lead on a power play goal by Adam Colagiacomo. As the Bulls were losing a player, the New Orleans Brass were getting a player from the AHL, Adam Colagiacomo from the Kentucky Thoroughblades, paying immediate dividends.
Yeah, he's a good hockey player. He's highly touted, big kid, should be able to play at a higher level, you know, eventually. I think he's well touted, and you know, he got a goal. Again, we just we had a little bit of a breakdown here defensively. We got everything under control, and all of a sudden he walks out, and a bit of a soft goal on Roach. A lot of people might say, looking at it, but there's no way that that guy should have got there, so it should never have been a shot on goal, so Roche should never have been put in that position.
And actually, Coach, it was Adam who got the second goal. That goal, as you mentioned, the wraparound was Daryl LaFrance, as you were talking about. It was a soft goal. Then you elect to make the goaltending change. You put in Avi Karunakar, and things seem to turn around for you guys as you're going to pick up a goal here in the second period. It's Ian Bear that gets the goal scoring. Maybe it sparked your team, that change.
Well, I think so, and the reason I said to the press people after that game that I did not pull Roach because I was disappointed in him. I pulled him because I was disappointed in the rest of the team, pretty much, the way they were playing in our zone, and I didn't feel I wanted to subject him to that anymore. And Avi did come in, and he did light a fire, and sometimes a goaltending change midway through the game like that will cause a bit of a spark, and we got a bit of a lucky goal there. It was a broken play. It jumped out in front, and Hebert put a pretty good shot on goal and scored. But I think that did jumpstart us a little bit.
One of the guys we have to both agree that really stepped up in this game, gave us a pretty solid effort, Hugo Belanger. He gets the Bulls' second goal of the night.
Well, I'm happy with the way Hugo's playing. I've been riding him pretty hard this year about giving me a little bit more energy out there, and the reason I have is because he's such a good talent that he's capable of so much more than he does on a lot of nights, but he played hard, and Hugo has a tendency to come up big when you need him, and I guess that's the reason he's been around here for 4 or 5 years now, is because he does have that ability, and he does possess an awful lot of talent. I'd just like to get a little bit more out of him a little more often. If he ever did that, I don't know what his capabilities could possibly be. And
trailing 3-0 after one even being outshot 14-5, when Jeff Scarf gets this goal here, Coach, you got to be very pleased with the way the team fought back to tie things up.
I'm very pleased, and I thought we were in pretty good shape here. You know, a subpar first period, and then we're able to tie it back up. And then, unfortunately for Karunakar, we're killing a penalty, and we did everything right. We rang it around the glass when we got in trouble to get it out. It hits one of the ribs on the glass and ends up in our net. And unfortunately, Avi has to take the loss on that. He's faced 30-some shots, allowed 1 goal, had a great effort in a losing cause, and it's just a misfortunate thing that he had to take that loss on having played such a great second and third period.
And we're actually going to take a look at one of the big saves Avi Karunakar here made in the game against New Orleans. And Coach, you're really right. He stops 31 of 32 shots. He does pick up the loss, but you have to be pleased with a goaltender coming in and allowing to keep your guys close in a situation that could have turned ugly.
Absolutely. Had they got the 4th goal, who knows where it ends up. But we get it, and Avi comes in, and he made a great save right after I brought him in. First save he had to make was a great point-blank glove save, and I think that fired him up. Sometimes it's better to get tested early, and you know, hopefully you win the battle, and then he gets fired up. And again, as I say, he was flawless with the exception of a fluke play where the puck bounced off the ribs of the glass and eluded 2 of our guys, happened to end up on their guy's stick, and he had nothing to do but score the goal.
So the Bulls lose to the New Orleans Brass this past Saturday night by a final score of 4-3. Mind you, it was without Jamie Hicks, Stefan Rivard, and Tyler Prasovsky, who is serving a 1-game suspension for a hit earlier in the season against New Orleans. Fans, we need to step aside and take a quick break, but we'll be back with more on Wendy's Inside Bulls Hockey.